So now that I am trying to do the wainscoting, not even sure if I'm saying that right. Wainscoting or wainscoting. I watched so many videos on how to do wainscoting within my circumstance, and I just couldn't find anything. And the struggle was just finding a way to get these planks to be nailed up and just onto the studs. Obviously, I can't just take these individual planks and nail them. There wasn't anything down below or up above to get them all in a row. So I just took this extra fence, split it in half, these planks of fence, and then just did one half on top and one half on the bottom and just nailed them into the studs. So that's what I did all across here. So now I have a place to start nailing them up. The other little issue was this little stair step area, and because this wood is slightly thinner than this, so it's going to stand just like that. What I could do, I have a couple ideas. I could just kind of hammer this down, impact it like I was said in an earlier video, and just kind of get it rounded off and then just kind of stain it there so it blends in better. I think I might just do that, and it'll probably just look just fine that way all the way across. There's also another idea of cutting a 2x2 or something like that, even a 2x4 if you want a ledge. So I've seen pictures of people doing that, but so I might do either one of those. I kind of like that simple look like that. I think it'll be fine. So we'll see how it goes, but I just wanted to show exactly how I was doing this. Same with over here. So a couple things that I ran into in between the studs, I couldn't hammer anything in with nails because it was just bouncing. So I had to use these, just tiny little screws just to go through this and then out of the board. So that solved that problem. The other one is this floor is not level all the way through. I mean, there's that leveling concrete that I put down. And the foundation itself is not even, so there is a slight up and down, so I couldn't just measure one board and it's all the same. So I'm gonna abandon the idea of just leaving it like this. I could, I'm still tossing the idea around my head, but I might just take a little bit of trim from some other barnwood or something and just kind of put it over that. If it comes down to it, I might give it some kind of separation for the look of it. But yeah, I just want to mention those couple things that I ran into, and everything else it's kind of going slower than I thought, but because I have to get these pieces of board off the fence and then get the nails out and all that stuff. But I keep meaning to talk about salvaging old barnwood, because there's several things that I've been learning about it, about how to make do with what you've got here. And the pile here, most of it just almost looks unusable, and the things that I've been doing, I've actually been making it usable. And basically it's just little things that it's common sense, but little splinters that come off, you can glue them back together with wood glue, and these big gnarly holes that you see. You could either put I don't know, a decorative nail through it, or you could save these little shards, these little pieces that fall off, and glue them into place, and sometimes that looks good. Or make your own dowels and make little dowels that go in there, cut them off, sand them off, and just little ideas like that. And even this this piece here, you can see it kind of rotting, and you know, a lot of people may not want to use it because, you know, it's just so brittle and like that. But if you think about it, it's just going up as a wall for decoration, not any structural or anything that's going to take weather, you know, wind or anything like that. So it's just decorative. So if you think about it that way, a lot of this can be really usable. And also, when you put the polyurethane on top of this, that clear coat finish, basically what you're doing is strengthening this. And I've noticed that whenever you know, it's kind of brittle or kind of coming off there, or there's a knot that's loose and it's kind of, but when you put the finish over it, it acts as like an adhesive, and it bonds it all together and makes it stronger. So I do kind of make a pile of things that I could salvage and piece together. So even these little pieces I kind of keep around just in an area, so when I find a missing knot or something, I could fill it in with something else. Or if there's a broken piece, you just take my wood glue and just put it back together. So there's a lot of different ways of making, you know, seemingly unsalvageable barn wood usable. If you don't have any dowels, you could just grab some various stick sizes, and you could stick one, use a stick there, stick it in there, cut it off. That'll fill in a knot hole, because I got these knot holes that fell out of there. I don't know where they are, so I just find one that fits in there, glue it in there, or just have the polyurethane go over that. It'll kind of act as a glue. Bigger nail holes, stuff like that, just get a little stick, stick it in there, cut it off. So I sat here looking at this, and I did decide to put up a bit of a trim right here, and because I still have that stair step, and it's worse here than it is in other places, and I can't quite get every one of them perfectly aligned, so I'm gonna need that trim. But I think it'll be better with trim anyway, because it's gonna give it kind of a distinction between the wainscoting and the rest of it. It kind of just kind of looks like mixed wood there. So let me just show you kind of my reasoning here. So this is from the fence, and I put this up there, and already, you know, you could see it looks, I think it looks better. And this fence wood is just kind of bulky, and I'm always trying to conserve every square inch if I can. So I took this little piece of barn wood. I just took my skill saw and just took off a couple inches from another piece of wood, and I put this up here. So I'll show you what that looks like. And I like this a lot better. Really give that a nice transition. But I didn't have any router or anything like that, so I took my skill saw and just kind of did a cut about maybe a quarter of an inch, maybe a half inch down in there, and then I'm just gonna just kind of creatively figure this out with the tools that I've got. So I have that groove in there. Just taking my chisel and chiseling it down. So now I could just strip off this part of it. I'll just show you when I'm done, but that's how I'm gonna take care of the stair step transition there, and it'll just kind of have a smooth transition. I'll show you when it's installed. See here what I'm doing. So I just kind of chisel down until it starts splitting, and it just kind of splits off on its own. I'm not going for anything perfect. That's the beauty of barnwood style. You just kind of roughly peel it off. There you go. That's all I was looking for. Just a little stair step to take care of that. Just do this in real time and show you what it looks like. This bottom edge I'll probably just kind of hammer and impact it. Just gonna get a rounded edge on it after it's installed. So I could have just set it on top like that, but underneath you kind of you could still see those uneven stuff, and I just wanted to get all that covered. So with that little notch in it, then it kind of goes over it nice and perfect. So I'll just kind of hammer down that edge to make it look more like the top. There you go. I started putting this paneling on. It had a lot of green moss on it, so it had a really dark contrasting thing with little transition. So I had to scrub it all, water it down, scrub it, but it still has that kind of that change in color dramatically. I could try to mix it in there, but these boards are all at their custom height. So I was thinking of what I can do about it. It's not a huge deal, but I'm just kind of brainstorming if I could do anything. So I just took some cleaner with bleach in it, and I could probably get some bleach or something. I sprayed it on this little sample piece, so it like bleaches it up a little bit, kind of matches what I'm going for there a little better. At least something, even if there's little bleach marks, it'll help. It'll help with matching the colors. So if it doesn't make much of a difference, I'll just leave it there. But plus I'm going to have a stove, sink, and trim, and all these other things that'll kind of mix it in there. Another little thing I have to remind myself, a challenge I guess, is the hopefully I can describe this, but I'm trying to keep everything square as I'm going along, including this bathroom wall. And as I put the leveler up, it seems like it's this seems level. Seems like it's not tilting anyway. But then I put up my little square tool here, and I put it down by the wall and by this wall to see if it was square, and it wasn't. And I just have to remind myself that that little foundation, if I remember in earlier videos, is that foundation is pushed out a little bit, so I can't rely on that wall as a square reference. So I have to ignore that and go with the upper trusses as a square, because I know that's squared up and everything. So I have to kind of do things backwards, knowing that that is more square than that. So I just reference from the ceiling down. And just like over here where I had to, this foundation was pushed out a little bit. So this brick molding that I'm going to have to put on there, I'm going to have to customize for it. So these little things I forget about, and it throws me off a little bit, but I just have to work with what I've got. I guess that's the challenge with, barn style plus and old buildings. But and plus this post here is not straight, and I already knew that, but I kind of forgot that when I was cutting these boards, and I just did it all one length. So I should have cut these a little bit longer so they reached all the way out. But I think a better idea is just to put in a little trim piece of wood to cover that, so it's not really a huge deal either, but just wanted to mention little things like that. I was trying to use the worn edge of each of these boards, but I actually was going to use this one that I had to cut on both sides. So I had the corner, the fresh cut corner that I wanted to get rid of, and I was using a hammer to impact it. That's what I was usually doing, but I noticed that you can just take an edge, like a hard edge, and just put a lot of pressure on it and just do this. It does the same thing, and you can do this in the corner of a cinder block or something too, just like sanding. But it saves a lot of energy. I mean, I was really trying to pound that with a hammer. I'm sure that helps a lot. I'm trying to get that beat down, used look, so you can kind of see the difference.